All right, welcome to lesson 4.5, and as you can see, we're going to follow up on adding mixed numbers from the previous video, and this time we're going to be subtracting mixed numbers. And once again, I'm joined by a mystery guest. Want to say hi, mystery guest?
Hi.
All right, cool. And so we're going to go through this, and this is kind of a meaty lesson. This is one of those ones you might have to listen to more than once. So we'll try to keep it brief and concise and build in some practice, but here we go. All right, so first one. We're subtracting mixed numbers, mystery guest, and so we're basically dealing with something like, I don't know, maybe like 3 and 2/3 minus 1 and 1/3. Okay, and so the first step we have to take into account is we have to look at the denominators. And just like with adding, if the denominators are the same, then we don't have a whole lot to do. If the denominators are not the same, then we're going to have to rewrite the fractions using a common denominator. Now we can either use the rule of 4 that we've talked about, or better still, just find the lowest common multiple of the two denominators, and another name for that is what? So the lowest common denominator of, let me say that again. I just said it. I gave away the answer. All right. The least common multiple of the two denominators is the lowest common denominator. So very similar letters, and actually, in reality, they mean the same thing. All right. If the denominators are already the same, no big deal. If they're not, we have to rewrite the fractions. Okay, so that's not really different from what we did in the last. We're really going all the way back to the unlike fractions lesson, and then we also did it with the mixed numbers yesterday. Now there is a second thing though, and just like in last night's video, we had to worry about carrying at the end. Well, the opposite of carrying in arithmetic is what?
Borrowing.
Borrowing, right. So, so we also have to worry about borrowing, and that's step 2. Okay, and so let's go back to just plain old regular arithmetic, and let's do an example problem where we have to borrow. Okay? All right. So I want to take 1,024 and I want to subtract 357. All right, just standard arithmetic. Can you take 7 away from 4?
No.
No. So what you have to do is you come over, we've learned that you come over here, this means 2 tens. So if I steal one of the 10s, I can bring a 10 over here, and now the 4 becomes 14, right? So 14 minus 7
equals 7.
Right. Now, can I take 5 away from 1?
No.
No. Again, now I go to borrow this time, and I've got a problem because there's nothing to the left of it to borrow. So I've got to go all the way over to the 1, and this time I'm borrowing that, and that's going to bring over here, this becomes a 10. Now this can be borrowed from, and now I get 9, and I finally get my 11 here. So 11 minus 5 is?
6.
6, there you go. And 9 minus 3 is 6. And 0 minus 0 is just 0. So we get 667. All right, that's just good old-fashioned borrowing. All right. Well, it's not really that different when we do a fraction. So suppose I have 3 1/5 minus 1 4/5. I've got the exact same problem here, right? I can never take something bigger away from something smaller using regular arithmetic. There's always got to be a trick. Now with positive and negative numbers, we use the 3 commandments. For this, which, let's see, so this is a course 1 video, so that's something you'll see next year in pre-algebra at the very beginning of the year. You'll actually see a little bit at the end of this year too. So don't worry about that right now. So basically for now, we can't take things like 4/5 away from 1/5. So what we're going to do is we're going to borrow. Same exact way as before. So we're going to borrow, and the only thing to borrow from is the whole number, right?
Exactly.
So let's borrow one of those, and let's break that into 2. Now, if I think about this as, I don't know, maybe it's like a Reese's peanut butter cup or something. All right. In this case, the fraction is, the bottom is 5, right? That's the size of the pieces. So we're going to break this whole into 5 pieces. All right? And if I do that, I already had 1 piece, right? And I just got 5 new pieces from this, from the one that I stole from the 3 and make it 2. So now how many pieces do I have left?
6.
All right, I have 6. Now, a quick way to do this is really, all we did here is we just really added the bottom to the top. 5 plus 1 is 6. Now, can I subtract? Sure,
Yes.
because 6/5 minus 4/5 is 2/5. All right, and 2 minus 1 is 1, and that is the answer, 1 and 2/5. Now, sure enough, if I add 1 and 2/5 and 1 and 4/5 together to check it, I will get 2 and 6/5, which then reduces to 3 and 1/5. So I will get the original number that I started with. So that, in a nutshell, is what we're going to work on when we're borrowing or when we're subtracting mixed numbers. All right, now sometimes we have to borrow, sometimes we don't. So let's take a look at some practice problems, okay? All right, we've got 4 practice problems picked out right now for you. The first 2 on this screen, and then the second 2 on this screen. And I think just looking at them very quickly, you can see that most of these are going to involve borrowing, right? C, you don't have any fractions, so you're going to have to make a fraction. 1/3 is bigger than 1/6, so we're going to have to borrow there. And then back on the previous slide, oops.
Short one.
The first one I don't think we'll have to borrow, but I think all the rest of them, B, C, and D, we're going to have to borrow on all of them. All right, so let's get started. We'll do the first 2 for you, and then we'll let you do the next 2 by yourselves. All right,
Okay.
so let's help them out. So what do we have to do first?
You would have to find a common denominator.
Yeah, I need a common denominator, step 1. Okay, and so I've got 8 and... Oops, I should leave myself a little more room than that. I'm going to put the whole numbers down first. Don't ever forget the whole numbers. They're the most important part. All right, what's the common denominator going to be?
16.
Yeah, 8 and 16. The common denominator will be 16. All right, now the bottom fraction is already in terms of 16, right? It's 3/16, so I don't really have to do anything there. But what did I do to 8 to change it into 16?
You doubled it.
Doubled it, right. So do the same thing at the top. What do I get?
14.
Right. That's not right. There we go. 14. So 2 and 14/16. All right, so 2 minus 2 is 0. And 14 minus 3 is 11/16. Now, I don't want to write it like that. That looks dumb. So let's fix this. This is 11 over 16, and we'll go ahead and circle it. That is the answer. And we don't even have to reduce that one. So that was actually nice. Sometimes I might have to reduce this part down here at the end, just like I had to when I was adding. All right, now the next one is a little different. And the next one, you notice that there is no fraction here, is there?
Nope.
All right, so we're going to have to make a fraction. So we're going to say 5 minus 3 and 2/3. All right, and actually this gives us a little bit of freedom. Obviously the bottom of the other fraction is 3, so how about we break this into thirds?
Okay.
All right, so we're going to borrow like we did before, and so the 5 becomes a 4. And now there's no adding. If I break a whole unit up into thirds, I'm going to get 3/3.
3/3.
All right, let's subtract. We're ready to go. 4 minus 3 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1/3. And again, we already have our final answer. We don't have to do any more.
All right.
Very good. All right. So that's the idea, guys. That's getting common denominators and borrowing when you're subtracting mixed numbers. Okay, so let's go back to that next screen. So C and D are 2 problems that we would like you to go ahead and try to subtract on your own. Both of them are going to involve getting... Oh, I can't really read that number. Do you remember what that was supposed to be? 11 and 1/6 minus, I think he's right.
It was, no, 2.
It's a 2?
It's a 2.
It doesn't look like a 2.
Yeah,
all right,
it's minus 5 and 2/3.
Which one? I think we made this one up, though.
It's right here.
Oh, we didn't finish it. Okay. All right, minus 5 and 2/3. Okay, so that's the problem you're supposed to do. All right, so go ahead, pause the video, and on paper, write these out, get common denominators, and borrow, and then subtract. And please write them, even though these are written horizontally, when you do your work, please do the subtraction vertically. That'll help you remember you can only take smaller things away from bigger things. So if you have smaller things on top, you have to borrow. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video now. As soon as you got both of these problems done, or you've gotten as far as you can get, resume the video and we'll see if we get the same thing you get. Okay? See you in a minute.
Welcome back.
All right. All right, so let's dig in. So the first one, they should have taken 10 and 4 and 1/4 and written them vertically, like we said, like this. And what do we do first?
You would borrow.
Yeah, we're going to borrow. So borrow from the 10, make it 9. And obviously we have 4, so let's just change it into 4/4. So 9 and 4/4 is exactly the same thing as 10. If you took the 4/4 and melted them back together, you'd be back to 10 candy bars or whatever it is. All right, let's go ahead and subtract. So 9 minus 4 is 5. That's the most important part. Don't forget that. And 4/4 minus 1/4?
3/4.
Good job, 3/4. Okay, so if you got 5 and 3/4, my mystery guess tells me that you are correct. All right, mystery guest, what should we do for the next one?
You need to find a common denominator.
All right, so let's write them vertically. 11 and 1/6 minus 5 and 2/3. And so when we get our common denominator, notice I'm actually going to rewrite both of these. And I already know I'm going to have 11 and 5, so let's not even do that. So what's common denominator?
6.
6, yeah. Both 2 and 3 go into 6. Okay, 1 already is fixed. It's already 1/6. And 2/3, what are we going to change it into?
4/6.
Good, 4/6. Can you take 4/6 away from 1/6?
No.
No, you cannot. So what do we got to do? We got to borrow. And where do we borrow from?
The 11.
Yeah, and it becomes?
10.
10. And when I borrow from the 11 and it becomes 10, I get how many sixths?
7.
Well, I get 6 plus the one I already had,
seven.
so it becomes 7 6.
Seven,
Yeah,
seven.
okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. 10 minus 5?
5.
5, oops, is 5. And 7 6 minus 4 6
3 6.
is 3 6. Am I done?
No,
Why not?
because you need to reduce it to a simple
Right. Okay, and I'm running out of room here, so I'm going to reduce it backwards. So this is equal to 5 and...
form. 1/2.
Good, 5 and 1/2. Okay, so that's what we talked about. Sometimes you have to reduce the fraction part at the end. All right, that's it, guys. That is subtracting mixed numbers. So it's everything you're going to have to worry about. You have to worry about the denominators and getting common denominators, and you also need to worry about borrowing. And then sometimes at the end, you might have to do a little reducing at the end. All right, so, whoa. Okay, so let's go ahead, and there is my mystery guest. So say hello. This is my mystery guest in a disguise. But let's see. Let's unmask the masked man.
Oh, I look really bad.
Oh yeah, he wants his mask on because he doesn't like his hair.
I really don't.
Here. All right. So anyway, so yeah, say hi to Henry. And
I
so
don't look good at all.
yeah, whatever. Okay. Well, we just want to really thank you for watching the video. And here, Henry doesn't like seeing his face, so we'll cover him back up there. All right. But Henry, I want to thank you for a great video. And everybody, if you have any trouble with this, if you want to watch the video more than once, feel free. And otherwise, we'll see you in class tomorrow, and we will practice subtracting mixed numbers. See y'all. Bye.